once in a while a game comes out that is genre defying, that goes above and beyond expectations and is innovative compared to its predecessors and competition. That, my friends, is Persona 5. Now, Persona 5's combat system, social simulator system, and just its general story is nothing new. It's been done before in other Persona games, but it's the best Persona game to date. Now, that can be a bit decisive depending on your opinion of Persona 4, Persona 3, or if you're a hardcore fan, the two Persona 2s and the original Persona are Shin Megami Tensei, which Persona is a Shin Megami Tensei game, which they stopped calling it Shin Megami Tensei. Once they ported it over to the Vita, like, yeah, this is like its own game now. This isn't just like some side SMT project. Like, this is the main series now, which will probably offend some SMT fans, but hey, that's how Atlus is probably thinking right now. If you enjoy this type of content here, take a moment and subscribe. Believe me, these types of videos do take quite a bit of time to edit and put together, and I love making them. I make tips and tricks videos, reviews, history of why you should buy the game, why you should play the game, and Let's Plays. Believe me, I freaking love video games just as much as you guys do. I love JRPGs, and I am a huge and massive fan of Persona 5 and the Persona series in general. Right now, I'm actually playing Persona 4 Golden on my Vita while I'm chilling at work. So believe me, I'm a massive fan. Now, first off, if you're into any JRPGs, Japanese RPGs, turn-based RPGs, or Asian RPGs, or maybe RPGs in general, or you're looking for a different type of game to play and you're just sick and tired of the mindless shooters or the mindless Assassin's Creed games every single year, or Call of Duty games every single year, no offense if you're a big fan of that, that's great. That's perfectly fine. Then Persona 5 has something special to offer that a lot of these other games just aren't offering at all, including Final Fantasy. I know I just took a big stab, believe me. I'm probably going to offend some people right there, but hey, I do like Final Fantasy. I mean, I played Final Fantasy 6, 10, 13, the decisive one, 15, 7, 8. Yeah, I played quite a bit of Final Fantasy too. But I do must say, between the combat system of Persona, the social sim system, and just everything else in the game and the story, Persona 5 really does truly shine above and beyond the rest of the JRPGs as of late. So let's start off here with what exactly is a persona? It's a manifestation of yourself. Essentially, a persona is like another personality of yourself. But in this game, it's a personality that you can summon. It's a monster, it's a demon. And it's kind of like Pokemon in a way. Like, you can capture the personas. In Persona 5, you do what's called negotiations, and you essentially persuade the enemy to join your team after doing an all-out attack. And in order to initiate that, you hit them with their weakness, stun them, then do an all-out attack, and then persuade their ass to join your team. You're going to have to do a whole bunch of trial and error to find the enemy's weaknesses, because if you don't get every enemy with a weakness or a critical hit, they're going to keep fighting, and you're not going to be able to persuade them to join your team, get money from them, or items, or just destroy their ass with an all-out attack. I mean, yeah, and that's really the beauty of the game, the combat system of Persona 5. Like I said, find the enemy's weakness, which if you press L1, it'll tell you which ones you've tried. Strike them with the weakness, get them all striked with the weakness, all-out attack, it's done. It makes the combat system so much faster compared to other JRPGs where you're just grinding through the battle. And believe me, in this game, if you run out of SP, dude, you might as well leave the dungeon. You might as well leave the palace, as it's called. Because SP is literally your life vein in Persona 5 and in Persona in general. In this game, essentially what happens is you start off the game in the future in a casino. You and your ragtag team of phantom thieves are trying to escape the casino, aka you, and they're helping you out. And of course, you destroy the enemy, you jump out of the window, they catch your ass, the cops get you, and then they go back in the past And that's where the game really does begin. Where it starts in the past is where you find this guy and this chick, they're arguing over each other, and the dude hits the chick. You being Joker goes up to the chick and the dude to try to defuse it, and the guy's like, I'll sue, dang it. And you're like, oh shit, he kind of looks like a guy of wealth and power. Like, I better not F with that guy, you know what I mean? And you're sent to live in Shibuya under probation in Café LeBlanc with Sojiro. Pretty much your new fake daddy, Sojiro. And he loves to make coffee and curry. And of course, that's because it's Café LeBlanc, and you know how that goes. And don't you dare try to get with his daughter. That's a little further in the game. Oh boy. So essentially in this game, there is day life, and there is metaverse life. And during the day, you're going to high school in Shibuya, you know, kind of like the real world Japanese location, Shibuya, in the area of Shibuya Scramble Crossing. Yeah, the kind of the iconic crossing that you've seen before, that you didn't know exactly where it was. Now, boom, here you are in Tokyo. You hang out with confidants, which are your friends, which are random people, which are extremely important in Persona 5. Not only do they provide an amazing extra story to the game, but if you rank them up, guess what? You get abilities that help you out in the metaverse and the palaces. So they're extremely important, and you definitely want to rank them up for the game. Believe me, every single thing in Persona 5 has a purpose. Whether it's going to the item shop, whether it's hanging out with your friends, whether it's going to the bookshop, a gift shop, the movie theater, it all increases social stats. Which, in order to rank up certain confidants, you need those social stats. And if you can mix a confidant and a social stat and money, all three together, whenever you hang out with them and rank up, hey man, that is a freaking winner, alright? A winner. There is nothing that is purposeless in Persona 5 at all, whatsoever. Which brings me back to the story. So during the day, you hang out with your friends, you go to high school, you do whatever, you go to bathhouses, you do laundry, just normal day stuff. It sounds so boring, but it's not. Trust me. In the metaverse, which is accessed through your smartphone, you become Persona users and Phantom Thieves, and you go in there, you go into a palace, which is the ruler's manifestation of their reality. It's their twisted reality of how they see themselves in the world. You go in there, you go throughout the whole palace, you get to the very top to find the treasure, and in order to make the treasure to materialize, you have to go out in the real world and send out a calling card to scare the palace's ruler to make the treasure materialize. Because if you take the treasure after beating the boss, essentially what happens is that palace's ruler will confess their sins to the world, and more than likely they're probably going to get in trouble. They're probably going to go to jail or something, because they're ultimately bad people, and you just make them confess it themselves. You are the Phantom Thieves. And after you finish the first palace, you all get together and create the Phantom Thieves. Or, of course, if you're in the palace, if the game was super realistic, you could kill the palace ruler and then they just die. They literally, their eyes go black and they die. Which does not solve anything at all. It makes you look like a piece of shit, which you don't want to do at all, which they don't give you the option. And say, for instance, you decide to fail the palace option because you are given so many days to go into the palace and get the treasure and leave the palace. Well, if you don't secure it in the amount of days that you need to secure it, the game has a bad cutscene, your game ends, and you go back a week or 10 days. And you get to try it again. Believe me, they're not going to just be like, hey, here you go, screw you, the game's over. Like, that's not right. That's not how this works at all. So in Persona 5, essentially you and your team of Phantom Thieves, like throughout the game, as you beat more and more palaces, you acquire more and more teammates, aka more members of the Phantom Thieves. The game, just like other JRPGs and other animes, through the strength and power of friendship, you are able to conquer any and every challenge. Believe me, just like Persona 4, it's a big part of the story. Now this game takes place just like all the other Persona games in the course of a year. So you really do want a day-by-day guide for what you need to do, whether it's hanging out with your confidants, whether it's reading your books, eating at a restaurant to increase your social stats, or working at a job. You need a day-to-day guide. Just a couple little tips here. Every single Sunday, you need to go over to the juice stand in the mall to increase a social stat. I think that's like 5,000 yen. And as soon as possible, clean up your room, get the TV, get the broken laptop parts, and add nutrients to your plant so you can increase your kindness stat, which is extremely important, and it doesn't cost you any time at all, and you need to do it. And honestly, also, this game, the music is freaking phenomenal, man. I love it, whether it's just the opening theme, whether it's the battle theme, Last Surprise, whether it's the theme whenever you're about to take over the palace called Life Will Change, whether it's the awesome River in a Desert, the endgame theme, the boss themes, like everything is amazing. Beneath the Mask, and throughout the entire game, like soundtracks will start with no singing whatsoever, and then they gradually add lyrics, and then the songs become more and more complex because you're going to be hearing these songs over and over and over again, and I never ever got sick of it whatsoever. I freaking loved every minute of it. Even Last Surprise, which plays over and over and over again, it never got old for me. I know I'm crazy. Even the all-out attacks after 160 hours of gameplay, like, it was always exciting to me. Like, every single time. Believe me, whether it's Persona 5, Persona 5 Royal, or hopefully coming out soon to the West, Persona 5 Scramble, you definitely want to play some version of Persona 5 or Scramble, which is the sequel to Persona 5. Please bring it out of Japan. I am sick and tired of waiting for the game, Atlus, and please port everything to the Switch. I mean, seriously, like, why wouldn't you? For real. Like, we're gonna buy the damn game. Like, seriously. We literally bought a re-release of Persona 5 with more additional content. Like, please, release it. Whether you found the game on sale for $5 or $10. Whether you decided to spend the full $20 on the game. Believe me, Persona 5, Persona 5 Royal, or hopefully Scramble at some point in the future, are amazing games. They're definitely worth the money that you will spend on them. Whether you're spending full price on the Royal, $20 on Persona 5, they're 100-hour games. They're 100 to 100-hour plus games. And believe me, you are definitely going to get your money's worth with these games, especially if you're a JRPG fan. You have no excuse not to play Persona 5 whatsoever. Well, guys, hopefully you're enjoying Persona 5, Persona 5 Royal. I've been booming success, and I am out of here.